Illiterate under the influence. Welcome to the online book club where we overindulge in beer and knowledge. So crack open a beer and your book and let's get illiterate.
Bro, why does it?
That shit's
Nope,
still gets me.
That shit was flicking. All right, guys, welcome back to Illiterate Under the Influence. I'm Anderson, double cheeseburger, here with.
Mega Ho.
And Lex.
And this is our third book of the Harry Potter series. We're about to do this video, the first half of it. Sorry for the hiatus we've been on, but we're finally going to get back on track with the online book club.
We're finally reading again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, why
what
don't
are
you
you
tell
guys
me this?
working on for this one?
Oh, good point,
What do you
Flex.
say?
What are we sipping on for this?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I got a channel favorite here of the Voodoo Rangers.
Oh,
I
hell
haven't,
yeah.
I haven't tried it
Oh.
yet.
You haven't tried it yet? Oh, yeah.
No.
That's right.
So
Bro, you're going to feel good after that.
Hey, halfway through the book review, you just
Like, what are we talking about again? That's like literally my new favorite beer of the year right now.
we should do that. Beer of
Nice.
the year.
Beer of the year, huh? What we drink most that year.
Ooh,
Megaho's beer of the
Bud
year
Light.
would probably be this water,
yeah.
Bud Light. And in case we run out of these, we got some Coors Banquets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So why don't Lex? Why don't you tell us what book we're reading specifically?
we're reading the third Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban. I actually got the book this time, physical copy.
Physical copy now.
The whole trio's got it. Finally.
Finally.
I mean, this is the first time I actually showed up in the first part. I've just been showing up in the second part, I think.
Oh, I think
Really?
you're right. Yeah,
It's probably accurate with that.
because it was just us three. It was just me and you for the first part of the first Harry Potter.
Yeah, I think so.
And then
Yeah.
the second, I could have made it, but you guys made it on the day I was working, so.
True.
And then
wasn't
since
able to
then,
hop
you
on.
haven't worked another day.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not missing the next one, and I tore my Achilles.
Hey, ever since he joined the book club, he stopped working.
Hey, if only Madame Pomfrey was there to mend your bones, dog.
Oh, for real.
Poppy.
Let me
Yeah,
fix
for
that
real.
Achilles for you.
Did you
right
guys
up.
catch that? That she called her Poppy?
Poppy? Who?
McGonagall calls her that. So
Oh.
I'm assuming that's her first name, which I didn't know. Which is a fucked up name, Poppy Pomfrey. The nurse, the school's nurse.
Yeah.
Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, normally we just go whoever has the first notes, and yeah, this is our book club. So if you guys are new here, we try to get a little tipsy while we go over our notes in the book so far.
We also try to get tipsy while we read.
Oh, yep, that too. So most of our notes are normally drunken.
I mean, not me, but
Yeah, so bear
Try
with
to
us if they are.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, let's see who's got the first note of the.
This is part one. I don't know if we mentioned that though, right?
Yeah.
We split every book into two parts.
I have my first note on page 16.
I've got page 2.
I got page 2. Well, I wonder if we have the same note.
All right.
All right, you go first.
All right, so on mine, I put Muggles must have figured out to just blast these wizards and witches from that witch who got caught like 50 times. Oh, so this is like this is going back to the note where
Gwendolyn.
Yeah,
I knew it. That's what my notes are.
So, because somewhere later, I don't know
It's
if
in
it's
the
here.
passage right here. Probably what you're thinking about, right?
Yeah, but they also speak about like guns. So, because they said that they were trying to, what was it like? Oh, they would try burning the witches and wizards, and I put that they must have figured out that since that wasn't working and they were just apparate or whatever they would do, I was like, all right, they must have figured out at some point after this chick like got away a bunch of times, they must have been like, all right, you know what? We're just gonna execute them one way or another. So I was saying they must have started just blasting.
I don't know where I saw, like I saw somewhere recently something like kind of like the witch trial. It was like a comedic turn, where this one girl tried to leave one guy, um, and like basically saying her goodbyes to the guy, and then the guy's like, "Oh, I wonder if she's gonna like, all that weird stuff that you do, that witchcraft." And then the other guy's like, "Witchcraft," and basically it's like
I'm lost. What are you talking about?
Was this
because
on
the
in the
girl
book?
is leaving the guy is now claiming that girl is a witch, and
Oh,
getting everybody against her basically.
just
I,
because she
I
broke
don't
up
know
with
where
him.
I saw it,
I've
but
done that a couple of times.
That sounds kind of familiar.
yeah, I saw it recently, but I forgot where. But I thought it
Oh,
was
to your note though, wasn't this medieval times?
Yeah, that's
So
why
they didn't have guns yet, right?
they had muskets.
No, they didn't. Not in medieval times.
No, they just threw rocks at you.
Hell yeah, that would have probably worked too.
I put my notes on that same passage that he picked, and I just said Gwendolyn the Weird was a freak, like a sex freak, because it says what they do? They would do a flame freezing spell, and then when they would try to burn them, it was just a gentle tickling sensation. And she said she did it so many times. She let herself get caught 47 times. So I was like, this bitch is a freak. Like she just likes to get tickled.
She likes getting candle wax.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I had the same notes, but I didn't write it down just because I was, it's too early in the book. But
No, I got hella notes.
What a freak.
I took a lot of notes for this, so.
All right, well, my next note's not till 40.
Mine's on 10. But
All right, well, you
mine's
still
kind of
have the
like
next note. Mine's not until
mine's kind of simple for 10. So it's when Harry's still at home, and so like Hermione and Ron, they need to contact Harry via Owl. So that I think this is when he's getting his gifts or something, and so mine was just like kind of like a question, like, would you guys talk to your friends over summer, like over summer breaks?
Like in elementary school?
Yeah, that or like middle school, I guess.
I would say like before cell phones were around, it was kind of hard, yeah. I wouldn't really, especially in elementary school, I feel like it was hard to see
That's true.
friends from school.
I mean, for me, like as far as friends go, like there's people I hanged out with at school, but I was more of the keep stuff at school type of friend. Like I didn't really,
You don't let them know you're a hoodlum in your real life.
Lex was like, if we ain't at school, don't talk.
Don't talk. I don't know you outside of school, all right?
He's like, if you see me at the gas station, don't even come up to me. Look the other way.
Wait, why? Did you keep in touch?
Hell no. Hey, but you know what? This is funny because, all right, so this is how bad I was, because even if I had a cell phone, I still wouldn't hit you up. Because I remember my first phone I got in like 8th grade, and then I remember sophomore year there was a certain friend that I had made. She was like a female student, and she helped me out a lot during like that sophomore year. But
female,
like,
sure.
No, and this is bad, bro. Because so she had a boyfriend, but he was like kind of like my homeboy. So I was like me and her, like we got along, and I would just talk to her about class and shit. I remember she made me a cheesecake at the end of the year because she was like into baking and shit. And honest to God, it was probably one of the best cheesecakes I've ever had. But I remember like I just like took the cheesecake the last day, and then like that whole summer I didn't hit her up, and then I see her like the first day of school, and I was like, oh, like what up, and she was just like, didn't even want to talk to me, never talked to me again after that. I was just like, damn. I was like, I guess you gotta keep in touch with these bitches and shit, dog.
I feel like when you're that young, though, it's kind of Should have
They just
expected.
one like that.
You should have wrote her an owl.
Yeah, I should have sent a raven at least.
Hey, this guy sounds like Ron when he's explaining Hogsmeade. Do you remember that part?
We'll get
to it, but he's talking about the food.
Oh.
He's like, "That's the best cheesecake in my life."
No, but hey, she. Maybe I should call her.
What was your point? Oh, you're trying to say like how good friends are to keep up?
Yeah, because I was like even
that is hella nice of them.
Yeah, and they would send gifts too, like.
Bro, then the telephone part. He
Oh,
said
yeah.
Ron was yelling, "Hello, is Harry there?" Yeah, hopefully that was no one's note.
No, I think that already passed because I think
that's after the
Oh, it is.
No, I think you're right. Like it's.
Oh,
like your note's after that, right?
I think so.
I think so too. I don't remember.
All right.
It's in the same area.
Very well. You said you had 16, Lex?
Yeah. Right. So this is where they say Black escaped from prison, and I was just like, of course it's Black. I mean,
oh, come on. Oh shit!
Oh man, my God!
Who else would break out of a prison? But yeah, I just wanted to.
You're stupid now. We're canceled now officially.
Oh yeah, I respect it.
You know it's funny when they said that because they just say his to the Muggles they just say the last name, right? They never say like Sirius.
Oh yeah,
like it's always just Black to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the character is Black. Like it's just his name, right? But like,
no, I'm just saying that like to the Muggles they don't even allow the first
the Muggles
name.
Mugshot is just like a little black outline of a figurine.
With his hair and shit, like the hair outline.
Yeah. Unlock character.
But I wonder like why wouldn't they just say Sirius? Like his whole name. It's not like the Muggles are gonna know. Like, oh, that's a wizard's name for sure. Yeah, that's for sure magic. Like, yeah. We're not.
That's a wizard right there.
I mean, most of these notes are pretty close. The next one I would have is on page 18. And I just had one comment on here saying, "What the heck is musical statues?" Because it was like Aunt Marge is like coming over, and they were talking about like a past story where she came to visit, and they were like playing like musical statues for some reason. And
you know why you don't understand that, Lex? It's a British thing.
Is it?
Us Americans, we play musical chairs, son.
I'm assuming it plays the same, right? You just stand still though instead of you just freeze. We could be way wrong too, but that's just when I read that. That's what I assumed it was.
Hey man, there's some UK notes on here that we'll find out later.
Yeah, there's some weird words.
And then my next note is on page 20 when Harry is threatening Mr. Dursley, like, hey, if you don't sign my permission slip, things can get kind of messy around here,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's acting like he has Alzheimer's and shit?
Yeah.
What was the name of the school again?
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, oh, man, like, Harry's kind of like a savage, because, like, Mr. Dursley is like Andy, and Harry is like Moises, and, like, Andy be abusing the heck out of Moises, So
who you talking about?
Evidence right now.
I don't know who you're talking about.
See, exactly. Look how hurt Moises is. Like, man,
my poor little white skin.
What, this? No, I'm just kidding. Megaho started that game. I'll see that.
No.
And I didn't want to play it, and he fucking insisted. I have a bruise here? No. But I didn't see it. See this guy? He likes to. He's like Wendell the Weird.
I just like to feel alive. A little bit of pain makes me feel alive.
You're like, now hang me at the
choke me,
burn me alive.
Hell yeah! I like your note, Lex. My next one's on 24. What about you guys?
Mine's on 33.
Yeah, I'm at 40.
So, okay. So this one,
What page?
page 24. So I think this is referring to how Mr. Dursley would discipline Harry, or no, this is how Aunt Marge would speak about like school. Like she was asking like Harry, do like they beat you? Like do they give you good beatings and shit? And my note was like, you could tell this book is at least 10 years old because I'm like, because of how openly they speak about beating your kids. Because I'm like, and nowadays, hell no, everyone's like, oh no, of course, I put my kids on timeout, and it's like, what's that really do?
I don't know though. The UK might have different laws. Like, you think they still get beat in their private schools,
I sure hope so.
or at least Catholic schools? Huh? They probably get.
Oh,
by the
Catholic
nuns.
schools for sure.
Yeah.
Joey Diaz can tell you that one.
I remember reading that too. She's like, I hope they beat you enough, right? Or what did she say? Like,
I hope they give you a worthy beating or something.
crazy. There's
But-
something wrong with the bitch and something's wrong with the whole batch. Or what did she say?
Oh yeah. My next one's to 32.
Well, that's still before me on 33, but I mean, is yours about the night bus?
Mine's not really a major point, but I was just putting how Harry's pretty like planned out on his movements because when he leaves, he's already thinking about like living life as an outcast because he's assuming that he's going to be thrown out of Hogwarts, you know, and I was like, at least he's like thinking ahead already. I was like, at that age, I'm like running away from home. I was like, no way would I be thinking about already moving to a wizard world.
I guess how bad the Dursleys treated him though, like it's not much of a step down being on the streets.
To be honest,
I mean, I don't know. A roof over your head is a roof over your head,
but he could just go find.
but he's rich as fuck in the wizarding world. That's why too. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like that gives you a little more sense of security, like knowing you got a shitload of money.
I mean, if I was Harry, you know, I would have been left the Dursleys. Like, I mean, they treat him so bad.
Why can't you get adopted by someone like in the wizarding world?
Yeah, I'd be going to the
Tell
Weasleys.
Hagrid to fucking, or yeah, the Weasleys.
Yo, Ron, mind if I room with you, yo?
They don't need another kid, that's for sure. But still,
man, like you know, with Harry's fame, man, he could be like the sleepless innkeeper.
oh, at the Diagon, or what is it?
No, this is a different. It's a
How I Met Your Mother joke where it's like you like pretend like you're gonna sleep with someone to get into their house, but as soon as you're in their house, you pretend to fall asleep. So instead of having sex with someone way uglier than you end up to stay for the night.
That's like, pretty smart. So you just get a free night of sleep.
Yeah, because like the joke goes that this dude like pounds a bunch of whiskey before going to the like, because this chick's like a behemoth, right? And he's just like he's like.
Oh, you should have said that last bitch's name. I forgot her name though. I kept trying to think of it. From the second Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh,
the burly bitch. What was her name? Do you remember, Lex?
What?
Do you remember the girl's name in that Hermione fights physically in Chamber of Secrets?
Fights physically?
When they're doing the duels and all hell breaks loose?
I don't remember.
Oh, I can't remember.
They say she looks like a fridge or something.
Yeah, well, we call her a fridge.
Yeah.
I don't think they've mentioned her in this book, have they?
Not yet. No, but I just, because he said a big bitch. So like, we should have said her name, not her fire.
But anyways, so like the whole joke is like he like pounds a bunch of whiskey before like leaving the bar with her. And as soon as they get home, like she goes to the kitchen to get a snack and she comes out with a plate of chicken wings and he's asleep on the couch. So
yeah. Sorry about last night, but hope we can do it again sometime.
He escapes first thing in the morning.
I thought he's meant
he wakes up before and just dips. Yeah, but
What's your note on 33?
It was about the night bus. I was basically just saying how why is it a bus, but like all when they call for it, they pull out a wand and like I feel like this is more for like a taxi, just like waving up your hand. So I'm just like, yeah,
I was just I was
why
just
isn't it
assuming
a
some
taxi?
wizarding shit that we don't
Yeah.
know about. I don't know.
But I also have like a theory about that black mysterious figure that Harry saw because they mentioned it probably a couple more times, and
The
I
Magnolia
forgot what they
Crescent.
call it. They call it like a grim or something.
Oh, the
Uh,
Grim.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Death
yeah,
Omen.
and I think that's just probably Sirius Black. I mean, from where I know right now, I'm not really sure, but that's who I think it is. And then my next note isn't until 62.
Wait, but does he wave down the bus? I thought the bus just came out of nowhere to help him.
Yeah, basically, like his suitcase fell and like all his stuff was outside, and he like quickly just grabbed his wand. And I guess like having your wand in your hand is almost like signaling the night's bus to like stop, and it
That's
just
pretty stupid.
appeared like right in front of him.
Yeah, because I think
I thought it just
when
knew when
he,
a wizard's in need or whatever.
yeah, that too. But excuse me. But yeah, I was just gonna capitalize on Anderson's point, cheeseburgers, because it. I think when he does hop on the night bus, he kind of asks that, or he asks the fudge later, and he kind of explains it, and he's like, "Oh, the night bus appears to any wizard that's in any need." But it's funny how they still charge him because
I know he's fucking paying for shit. What if you're a homeless wizard?
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
Like you pull up,
It's like just take me to Green Goblin. I got you, bro. I swear. It's
the bus is like, "Yo, like you got money or what's
Yeah.
up? Like you coming in?
Start
or-
making us beds, boy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like since it's a bus, it's like there's other passengers too.
Oh my god! Here we go.
Sorry.
What's up, son dog?
What's up, bitch?
How you doing? Pussy.
Oh. Hey, get out, get out. Stop, stop, stop.
Oh,
You're breaking shit already.
Hey, turn on. I'm not editing this shit.
Fucking Lex's girl right there, dog.
so anyways,
No, just kidding.
there's like other passengers on the bus also, and then like I think while Harry's talking to I don't know like those fucking country guys because like they talk weird and shit. They're like dropping off other people too. So yeah, I would think a taxi would be better, just like someone to take you to where you like want to go instead of like a bus. But I don't know. I guess the author thought why not make it a bus or something?
Well, I also
But it-
assume that they travel hella far, right? That's why there's beds on it and shit.
I mean, I imagine it like travels like super fast and whatnot.
I mean, it does, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
it says
Maybe
that-
you're hurt and you just need to recover, so you're on the bed while you travel. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, they were talking about like, oh man, we just like came from like Wales, which is like a different part of
Country.
like Europe. Like I would imagine, they're in England.
No, very
Oh,
interesting
okay.
point. Very interesting point. I like it.
What was I gonna say? My next note's on 40. Anyone after that?
I'm all the way till 60.
Yeah, mine's on 62. So
This note's stupid. It's just I just said I like this word because it sounds like an STD,
Oh,
and then
shit.
that's who's talking to that? Oh, it's the bus driver. He's like, talk about some of that. Talk about someone else, Dan. There's a good lad. That Azkaban guards give me the collie wobbles. And I just thought collywobbles sounds like some type of STD. So that bitch gave me the collywobbles.
I dig that one.
Also, I wanted to bring up, what do you guys think about the Weasleys going to Egypt? I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Made me happy for them.
I didn't really care.
You didn't care? They
No,
deserve it.
I was like, yeah, they're in England. I don't know. To me, like the start of this book was kind of boring, to be honest.
I hate that they recap it like it's a fucking show.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like if it was a movie, I get it, so you could get viewers to go in and watch it. But like a third edition of a book, like everyone knows what it is by now. I feel like, or no one really starts out of order. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of how I am in general. You know, like when someone goes back to something that like you already know, I feel like it's just extending the book to like for no reason, just to like make it look fatter, basically, and it's already a big book. I mean, not as big as the other ones, but it's getting bigger, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like they go into detail every book, because like one of my first notes too was like I skipped over it because it's not important, but it's like it pretty much like they explain Dursleys like every one of them
all over again. Yeah, like we get it, bro.
Like we've read the book, we've read the prior two.
Assuming you should have, yeah. Like
we know they're all looking like fridges except for Aunt Petunia, who looks like she has a horse face.
I'm just trying to think.
I imagine that Mr. Dursley's a hunk. I mean,
oh yeah, remember?
Oh, based on the first book, yeah.
The no neck fucking stud.
What are you talking about? Even in this book, they said they describe him as a no neck, so I imagine he has like a he like works on his neck a lot or something, where it's just all muscle, and
hey, he looks like Mr.
He has a
Incredible.
big beefy mustache,
like a football player.
But they also say that
like
he has multiple chins, no?
I think they said Dudley had multiple chins.
Oh,
when he started eating again at dinner, he's like two of his. What did it say? One of them kept wobbling still after. I forgot.
I mean, that guy is a spoiled little brat, man. Like they literally bought him another TV just so he can watch from like the kitchen or something.
Oh yeah.
Just because he doesn't want to miss it while walking. Fucking fat.
Hey, that's some baller shit, though. Imagine just having the TV in your kitchen, your living room.
Hey, but do you guys think that like that's why they do it, is like a movie standpoint? Because I get it in a movie, you know, it's like a sequel. They want to be able to sell like tickets for that movie, right? So people could go watch it without seeing the first one. But with the book, I feel like it doesn't apply. Like it's not the same as. So I wonder why they're so always like.
Because in the movie you can recap quickly. Because in the movies, I feel like.
But like no one's gonna go and buy a random book like out of sequence. I feel like.
Like who's like, oh,
let me get the fourth.
Azkaban.
Yeah, let me get that fourth.
That one looks interesting. Let me grab number 3. Pick number 3, my lord.
Fucking shit. Oh, but I do like that they say some weird shit about the pyramids too. Like, don't they say you could like they do? They're actually magical for them and shit over there.
That was interesting. Yeah. Well, to your point once again, yeah, like it made me like feel pretty good, or like not feel good, but like it gives you that like that feeling like you're like, oh, like that's good for them, because like they're a poor family and they're also like known as being a poor family.
They deserve that shit.
Yeah. Who's that? Was that Dougie?
No, that was Javi.
Oh damn, he's getting tall.
Yeah, well, he's he's 13. I don't know. I forget.
No way.
He just turned like 13.
Fuck, I'm that old
or something. I forget how old he is.
You're old, bro.
He passed in Halloween, so.
Yeah, he just turned something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys. So I think what did you guys say?
Mine's
next, right? I think on 60.
You said 60.
Yeah. All right. So I put, this is when Hermione's buying her cat at the pet shop, and I put Hermione's cat Crookshanks is a ginger cat, and it just reminded me of South Park, where the episode with the gingers. So I was immediately relating this cat to having no soul because they explain it as a ginger cat. So, and then they say it has like a smudge face. So, yeah, it just reminded me of that.
I thought you were about to say Garfield or something.
Yeah.
Never watched Garfield.
I don't know. I know they described it, but like, they don't really describe it later on, and then like based on its action, and like I just kind of feel like it's like a Black Panther or something. Like I kind of picture it like as a mystical creature. I picture it as like Raikou from Pokemon.
Are you talking about when it jumped on Ron's head?
Yeah, when it attacks him and whatnot.
Yeah, they do make it sound a lot more creature-like, like something.
Because they're like that was either a really small bobcat.
Yeah, I was like, bro, what the hell is this bitch buying?
Like it's definitely like
too. Like,
a cat
obviously,
or
I guess you
something.
did.
Like your brother-in-law's cat, something like that.
Oh yeah, like one of those.
Yeah.
My note is I forgot I didn't mark the page down, but it's coming up. It's when they're leaving the leaky cauldron.
Well, mine's on 62, and it's about how so it's like the Ron families come, and I think they're staying in like they're in like
in the same place.
Diagon Alley, and like Fred and George were like messing around because like Percy, it turns out that he's gonna be like head boy this year, and he's basically like acting like the shit, and basically, and so like, Ron's mom basically comments on Fred and George like, yeah, he'll probably be the last head boy.
Oh yeah.
Fred and
all
George.
The rest of the kids are fuck ups.
Basically, and Fred and George are basically just like, so we don't care. Why the heck would we want to be head boy?
No, yeah, they already know. They're like, we're not going to be head boy.
And then I was like, you know what? If they told me that I would be head boy, but I'm exactly like Percy, I wouldn't want to be head boy either, because like Percy's kind of a dick. Like,
yeah, he lets it get to his head for sure.
Like, I mean, would you guys want to be head boys if it means that you were like Percy or whatnot?
I wouldn't want to be head. I'd want to be Fred and George. We are
Fat Fred and Skinny George.
Slim? No.
You're Ron.
Girthy George.
And then Lex is Ron.
Fat Fred, Girthy George, and Ridiculous Ron over here.
Ridiculous Ron.
My next note isn't too far either. Basically, it's on 66, and it basically describes how Harry, how Ron's talking to like Ron's mother and saying how Harry's in danger, like Sirius Black is after him, and
this is
and he's saying that
overhearing the conversation, right?
Yeah, and he's basically saying how Hogwarts is like the safest place to have Dumbledore there, and I was just like, man, Dumbledore doesn't do shit. Like, why should he feel so safe there? Mm-hmm. Because like in the previous book, like I feel like, I mean, they talk Dumbledore to be so, awesome and whatnot, but like so far in this series, I haven't seen him really do anything. They just say that he's the greatest wizard probably of this generation, and
well, I mean, there's a theory to that though, like that he's doing this, like he knows everything that's going on, so he's kind of like setting it up on purpose.
I mean, I don't doubt that, but like, like in Harry's point of view, he kind of views Dumbledore as someone who like is a god basically. And I'm just like, why does Harry think so highly of Dumbledore when he hasn't seen much of him? Like he doesn't even know much about him. So
I mean, I think in this book when they get to the school, doesn't he say though, like he just felt a sense of not warmth, but once Dumbledore started speaking, he already felt more comfortable, right? He's just like I don't know. He's supposed to be like one of the great wizards of like their time. So I feel like if you meet someone like that, you would just feel their presence, and I don't know. He is obviously a fucking beast.
And they also like not.
I get what you mean though. He hasn't shown examples of being great yet. Like I guess.
Mm-hmm. Like he hasn't like lived up to the name of being that great of a wizard. But they also do say that he is the one wizard that was also riving Voldemort so far. And that's the only person that you hear of doing that in the book so far.
And he's old as fuck too,
So I think that kind of warrants it. But I understand your point. But also another thing is like compared to nowadays, like if we were to compare it to real life, like so if all us ordinary people like we play trading card games or whatever, you know, like people who collect cards, like because in the chocolates in the first book, Harry gets the Albus Dumbledore card out of the chocolate frogs. And so I mean like for us, like that would be like pulling like a George Kittle, I guess, like in layman terms for me.
I missed that reference.
Oh, he's a 49er type.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you were gonna say Michael Jordan or some shit.
I was gonna say, but he's not really our generation. I guess it would be like LeBron, like for us, like technically.
As far as his stats would go on the card, like he's like fucking up there.
Yeah. So I think that's like one of the things that you could also look at. Like, obviously, or Dumbledore is considered being very high in their society at this point.
Mm-hmm. Also, I don't want to like talk too far ahead because we read each book as we go. But in the fifth one, right, isn't that one of the big? It's because Dumbledore's gone, so a lot of shit goes.
Oh yeah.
All right, but we'll get to that book eventually.
My next note was on 71.
Have they left the leaky pool
until 74?
Yeah, I think they're already on the way to the train. So
okay, yeah, because I forgot the page, but it's when they're leaving, and I just thought, what's my notes here? I just said these guys roll around like royalty with the car service, like how the Ministry of Magic got them whips, like just to go to the fucking train.
Yeah,
I was like, the Weasleys win money once and think they're high shit. No, but it's pretty sick that they got it like that, I guess. But obviously, it's for Harry's sake. Once we heard what they were talking about. Yeah, but yeah, that was just my note. I just thought it was funny.
Do you have anything before 71, son?
No, I have 74 is my next comment.
Oh, okay. So, mine on 71. So this is like reading along, not thinking forward or not reading past or using the knowledge that I already do have of it being past this. But so this is when they're on their, or they had just gone into the train station, and so Harry's already aware that they're trying to protect him, and this is when like Mr. Weasley's trying to speak to him. But my note was, with Mr. Weasley being very protective of Harry, wouldn't they be more concerned with the train heading into Hogwarts? Because at this point, like they don't really speak of adults being on the train with the students on their way there, which later we do find out that there was someone. But my other question was, did it have protection? So that was just my simple
like thing. Did the train have protection?
Yeah, like as in like, would the train be guided, like, or because they don't make mention of the train ever having like wizards or like grown wizards on the train with the students. I just
took it as it did because it's part of Hogwarts, you know, like that's like the safest thing.
But then again, also like Harry and Ron pull up on it in a car,
That's true.
I mean, like their students are
Yeah.
whipping into the train.
You know, I mean, it would be, I guess, pretty easy to, like have a terrorist infiltrate the train,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but
And this is already like Harry knowing that Sirius Black is after him.
mhm.
So that was my head forward.
He's gonna be like, "You're leaving, Mr. Weasley." Like, hop out this bitch and be like, "Don't leave me alone yet." Nah, but
Yeah.
Harry wasn't scared at all. Show up.
Yeah, so I mean, my next comment was basically, because there, like Moises said, there is an adult, like for the
Who said
first
that?
Who said that?
Megaho
Oh,
said,
Oh, okay, Megan.
can you please drink, sir?
yeah, I got you, I got you.
You don't mind.
Flex, could you chug the rest of that?
Oh, before your note, what do you think of that beer?
It's good. It's
Oh, yeah.
not bad for an IPA. It's like
That's my
smooth.
biggest point right there. Hell yeah.
Real quick, you know who I had try that the other day? Carl with the K.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of it?
He thought it was pretty good. He was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for an IPA, like he's like you still taste like it being very hoppy, but he's like it does not taste like a 9.5.
That right? That's
Yeah,
why that
like-
juice probably or whatever it is.
Woo, whatever they
That
put
shit
in
makes it
shit.
okay. It's like, damn, this does not taste like.
I mean,
Hey,
for
we
it
really
being such a
should
high
use that for a
percentage,
fucking ad.
For
It's
it
cool
being a
when
high
talking to
percentage.
them, man.
Hell yeah.
probably the best tasting one for high percentage.
Facts.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I fell in love with it.
100%.
But
Shit, now we got Lex on the Voodoo Ranger game.
but like Megaho said, there is an adult in this train, and it's a teacher it's a new teacher for the
The defense of the dark arts.
defense against the dark arts. And so I wrote a comment here because like when they first introduce him, he's basically just knocked out in like the back seat of the train, like all alone. And I was just like, shit, man, they have homeless people riding on trains here.
And he's a muggle that just got on the wrong train. He's like, where are we? Like,
A drunk muggle that walked through the wall. And he's just like, all right, I'm gonna hop in the back.
are we in Wales yet?
Because if you come over here, we got like BART, which is basically like the subway station for like the Bay Area. If you go on one of those, you definitely see some like homeless people around, and they're just fucking passed out. Like
Hey, the drunk train.
yeah, the
And
drunk train.
they do say his clothes are all tattered and shit too. Like,
Yeah, exactly. They describe him.
So he looks like a
Basically-
bum too.
Yeah, he looked exactly like a bum. Well, at least I pictured him like a bum, so I just
but I
Other
guess pretty much
comments.
that was not coincidental, right? Obviously,
No.
probably
yeah,
not.
he was in their car for a reason.
Yeah, then I also would like to mention the sneakoscope, which is the gift that Ron gave to Harry, which is
yeah.
supposed to go crazy, and it was like going crazy when they were talking in the car with the homeless man. So I was thinking, like, if it's going off, maybe the teacher is a untrustworthy person or something. Just like, I don't know, maybe foreshadowing for later. Like they said it was like a cheap one, so like it's kind of like drunk, but like it seemed to be kind of accurate so far from like when it has gone off. Like they said it went off when Ron was sending it off, and that's because he was using an owl that he wasn't supposed to. And they also mentioned a dinner where Percy was saying it's a piece of junk, but then his brothers were putting like a worm in his food. So I don't know. It seemed
So it's pretty accurate then, huh?
yeah.
But
Do
it
you
didn't
think-
go off until they went in, right? In the train?
Yeah,
Until
so
the
they're
Dementor
already
went
in
in.
the cart.
No, until the
Yeah.
monster went in there, right? Like that's when it went off.
I think that could also be, but
I thought that's why I
like
took that.
Lex's theory because
Oh, because
The
it went off a
Lupin
little
theory?
before
Yeah.
the thing.
because
I don't know if the train had stopped yet and then it went off. Did the train stop and then it went off, or before it stopped?
No, it was before the train stopped.
Oh, okay then.
That could be a good theory though.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
sounds pretty legit.
once you find out about Lupin later in the series, like, yeah, that's an interesting. Good point, Lex. Good point.
Yeah, and then my next note. Hold on. My next note.
Mine's 79, but mine's real quick.
My next note was basically just talking about how they keep on bringing up Hogsmeade, which is like the place that third years can go to. And I was just saying, like, it must be important if they keep on bringing it up like this. Like, come on, like, get over it, Harry. You're not allowed to go. But like, he just keeps on bringing it up throughout the whole series. Like,
all right, but Lex, look at it this way: have you ever, like, all your friends went to a school field trip that you couldn't go to? I feel like that's how you're supposed to feel about it. Like,
I mean,
all your
way to look at
all
it.
I
your
guess
boys are
I
going.
honestly didn't care. Like, for my senior year, they had the senior trip where they went down to Los Angeles and shit. I was just like, yeah, I'm never going to that. Like, I mean, it might be cool
You're the exception then, but that shit sucks.
with my
I
friends.
remember in 7th grade, everyone went to medieval times, and I couldn't afford to go that year. And I was there in the class with like 3 kids that couldn't afford to go either.
I mean, maybe in like fifth grade, there was a field trip, like the field trip for elementary school. It was to go to Six Flags. And I almost didn't go for that because I didn't have my grades high enough or something. Like, I almost failed and I almost didn't go on that trip. But I did want to go to that trip. So maybe it's like he was feeling the same thing as
it. Yeah.
Well, I never went to like senior night, prom, and
me neither.
homecomings, nothing.
But field trips are different, especially when you're young. How old are they? Like 13, 12? Like,
Yeah.
that shit's fun.
So I mean, like, everyone's involved in that. Mine real quick. It's on page 79, but it's just something that I thought we as a group we could start using. So it was the word cronies. So I think this is one like
About Crab and Goyle.
Yeah, Crab and Goyle. So like they're Draco's cronies, and so the meaning is close friend or companion, and cronies is obviously like the plural word, but crony is singular, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's
you never heard that word before?
Crony? No.
You illiterate asshole. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
That's why we're here, dog.
Yeah, we're learning, dog.
So
it's funny.
So who created this book club? He should be the most knowledgeable. No.
Who?
Anderson.
Oh, this guy, huh?
Why, what did he say?
He said you created the book club. You should be the most.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. I'm not. I watch a lot of movies. That's why I know some words.
Especially with that hat, he looks like a detective. He looks like
I am.
Facts.
He looks like Harry the Potter.
I'll use the restroom.
Hey, real quick though, I don't know before you go. Do you remember if they said? Because I can't remember their first names in the first 2 books, but Crab and Goyle's first names.
Oh no.
They said it in this one though, Vincent Crab and Gregory Goyle.
Mm.
But in the first 2 books, don't they just say them as Crab and Goyle?
Yeah, I think
Probably.
I don't remember hearing their first names in it.
Because I think throughout the entire series, they just call them Crab and Goyle. Like, at least
up until now, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't remember hearing the first name in the. Unless we just missed it.
Yeah.
But now when you hear the whole name, it sounds dumb. All right, go ahead, man.
Oh, you're good. Just in case, this is my next one. So.
All right. What do you got
I'll be
next,
right back.
Lex?
my next note is until 95.
You're good. I'm not till 109. And Megaho's not till 121.
I mean, my next note is basically just saying how I think Hagrid would be a great teacher. Like, I think he will be like the cool, chill teacher that you would have in like high school or something.
Is this when they announce it?
Yeah, like they announced that he's gonna be a teacher, and then I was just like, you know what? I think Hagrid would be a pretty cool teacher, especially to like Harry and Ron and all of them. I think since they get along so well, like they already go down to his hut and like hang out. Um,
And aside from like Malfoy and his boys, like his cronies, I feel like no one really specifically hates Hagrid either. Like I feel like all the students probably like him too. I would assume so, right?
yeah, I would assume so. I mean, like I don't know, like later on he does his first lesson, and I mean, I don't know if anybody has any notes on that. I guess we'll talk about that
Yeah,
when the time comes. But
I
you know,
liked that when they brought that part up though, when Hagrid was being announced that he's the teacher or whatever. That shit low-key made me want to cry. I was like, oh, it's so sick.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, like going back to the last book when like back to the first book when we find out that like Hagrid isn't really allowed to use magic because of something that he did in his past. And then in the last book when we find out that
He didn't
uh
even do it and shit.
that Hagrid was blamed for opening the Chamber of Secrets even though he didn't, and it turned out that it was Voldemort who opened it. And then
His
kind
name.
of
He who must
sorry,
not be named.
the one who should not be named.
He was talking about how Hagrid's becoming a teacher. And I was like, I didn't write the note, but I was like, Dad, that should make me want to cry of happiness.
Hell yeah.
I was like,
I
Dad,
mean, it's just
Hagrid.
kind of like redemption for him,
Hell yeah. He even say he wipes his face with the tablecloth too, because he's like crying
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I think I was like, Dad, that's just deep. And then bitch ass Malfoy, but we'll get to that, I'm sure.
Fucking Malfoy. Hey, they make a good villain out of Malfoy because they really make you hate him like progressively too, more and more.
My father.
Yeah, I don't know. Malfoy's kind of a dick, especially in this book. Like, I kind of really hate him.
Yeah.
I mean, my next note is until
we'll get to it, but
When's your next one?
101.
All right, go for it. I'm 109.
I'm 121 for my next one.
So my note is basically about the pictures, like the pictures traveling throughout different picture frames, and I think like one of them guided like Harry and his friends to like one of their new classes.
Oh,
and
the knight.
Yeah, the knight.
He could have been pick up his sword and shit.
Yeah.
And so I was basically like, all right, so these pictures travel through different picture frames, but like what if they got lost? Like what if they couldn't find their like picture frames, since I imagine there's a whole bunch of picture frames around. Mm-hmm. So I was just kind of like, what if they had to like fight somebody for their picture frame or
this
something?
This is my frame now, bitch.
Yeah, your picture frame's nicer than mine, like or
trade me.
Give me that shit.
This is a nice house you got.
Nice house.
How much you want for this? Fuck your couch.
Fuck your couch.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was my comment.
I didn't mark any of them down, but I like all the insults he was saying. It was like some old school ass medieval shit.
Yeah.
And then my next one isn't until 113. That's where yours is, right? Double cheeseburger.
No, I'm 109.
Oh,
but look, right here's one of them. He said, "Get back, you scurvy braggart! Back, you rogue!" Like just calling him.
What do you say? What do you say, Anderson?
He said, "Get back, you scurvy braggart! Back."
Did you say the N word? No.
No. I said the B word, braggart. I don't know what that means.
He just dropped a hard R on the IUIs, guys.
Bro, this guy must have
cut it out. No.
Well, yeah, he's medieval, Josh.
I know.
He's fucking wielding sword and has armor on and everything.
It's
riding a horse, though.
He can't even carry his sword and shit.
Hell yeah, look at Lex Chug.
I mean,
that's my boy. Raise him right.
Me well.
All right, you said 109, son?
Yeah, 109.
What you got there?
All right, so This is about Chalawani. I can't really say her name. Sybil
Oh,
Chalawani.
the new teacher with the
Trelawney.
glasses,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
bro.
So
She
pretty
has
much
such a thoughty name. Like,
Sybil Chalawani.
Wait, did you say Thoughty?
yeah,
Trelawney?
Trelawney. I
bro.
don't
She
really
has such
know.
a white thoughts name. White thought.
Your third eye. Oh, this is when Professor McGonagall and everyone like they just got to her class and everyone's all like scared because Harry got that grim shit in his teeth. And I just said Professor McGonagall practically called her job useless because let's see, divination is one of the most imprecise branches of magic. I shall not conceal you from that. I have very little patience with it. True seers are very rare, and Professor Trelawney, and then she stopped talking. So she's about to call this bitch like a dumbass. Like,
She's like, she's not a real one, but
yeah, we just pay her.
she's
We let
like,
her think she's doing something.
let me hold my tongue there.
I don't know
kinda-
though, but like it's kind of like so like she said that she predicts somebody's death at the start of a year, which would be kind of funny if you think about it as like a teacher to play.
Well,
as
yeah,
a,
I think McGonagall was trying to make them not scared and saying that's her icebreaker, I guess.
but like I don't know, it sounded kind of serious in the moment, you know. So
Especially with that grim shit, and then Ron's bitch ass wouldn't get over it. Like,
Yeah,
he was the only one
like if
worried.
you were to
So,
get a death zone, oh god, just drink a
don't
beer,
worry
you'll
about it.
be
Yeah.
over it in a day.
I
yeah,
don't know.
Just
I like
remember.
Hermione though, having his back on it. Like,
Yeah, that's fact.
yeah. But my next note is on 113, and this is like when they start Hagrid's class for the first time, and then Hagrid finally mentions the monster book, which is a
oh
book
yeah,
Harry got early on as a gift from Hagrid and is required for his class. And nobody in his class has even figured out how to open it. And Hagrid was like, "You guys haven't figured it out? All you gotta do is touch it, and like
You
rub
got
it a little
stroke,
bit."
yeah. You gotta
stroke
stroke
the
the
back.
spine.
Yeah, stroke the spine.
So I was just like, "Oh, lol! All you had to do to open the book was to please it, so you could look at it inside. It would
Open
let
up
you
to me,
inside."
baby.
Hey, imagine
Yeah,
if they
it's
were
like,
Playboy magazines. The boys would have figured that shit out quick.
Bro, it's funny that on that topic, like,
like the people who like beat their meat at home, they just like put their monster book right next to it, and they're just fucking rubbing one out, and they're rubbing against the book and figure it out.
it's all nice and furry. Well, imagine the people that manufacture the book. Like, yeah, there must be a lot of lube in that factory. No,
Hey, they're like, if you rub it the right way, it starts sucking too.
you're stupid. It starts chomping. Nah.
Like,
One thing-
fuck,
one
some
thing
of the
that's-
students have holes in their books. Like I don't know how it got there.
It bit me.
It must
It bit
be
me.
like that. Like, I hasn't even figured out how to open it.
Hey, they're sticking the wine cork thing through it. They're like twisting it and pulling out the paper.
Nah, they're jamming their wands in that bitch. You could take
All
all this.
sticky too.
The pages don't flip.
Stuck together.
It's all dried up and shit.
I was gonna say about that though, when Hagrid's like, how he looks at them like dumb as fuck, like you don't know how to open it. And I thought about that. I was like, why wouldn't the bookkeeper, like that the flourish and blocks, like the bookstore, how
Even he
he's
doesn't
getting
know.
all bit up and shit. I was like, why would he not know, being a fucking bookshop owner? But Hagrid knows of all.
Yeah, like he put his hand in the cage too, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
would just get bit and stuff. So like
You
Yeah,
would think
'cause it says it-
think he should know, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they say he will like go in there with a glove to like extract the book.
And Hagrid's like, you idiots. He's low key a genius when it comes to monsters.
My next one's on 121. Anyone got
mine's
something
on
for it?
114, and it was just about the hippogriff And I was just like, isn't it just a griffin? Why the hell do they give it a different name? Like, and calling it a hippogriff, like I would think it was like a fucking like hippo griffin or something. Like,
No, but a griffin is
Yeah, isn't there a
is a
difference?
lion.
isn't
A
it?
lion bird,
Isn't a
huh?
griffin
Yeah.
like an eagle mixed with
It's
like
an eagle
mixed
mixed
with
with
a
a
lion?
lion and something else. Because a griffin is three different things. This is what we need JD here for.
And Gryffindor, Griff, he's a
JD
lion.
hasn't been here since
Oh,
the
no.
first illiterate under the influence, and he's in the intro. What the heck am
Yeah, I
I?
know. Hey Lex, we need you to do a nude part of it
We'll
too.
add it to the intro.
I mean, I
We'll
told
hit
you
him
I
up
had
for the
an
second
idea,
half.
just like me fucking reading it inside a car while drinking and driving.
That's wild ass.
Hey, with the cop lights behind him.
He's not pulling over. He's just.
Hey, you gotta throw your Harry Potter glasses on.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go to my next one on 121. We cool. We cool to go there.
Yeah.
Anyone got something
Yeah.
before that?
Like I said, the last reading I have from
I mean,
Nolan.
mine's on 120. I mean, it might be close to Megaho's comment.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You're a page before, so
Mine's basically saying how Malfoy's a pussy because he got injured from the hippogriff, after saying after basically insulting him, even though Hagrid said not to insult them because they're so prideful. And I also said, I mean, this comment might be closer to Megaho because it's on the next page, saying how Hermione's kind of a bitch for pouring out Hagrid's drink. like what kind of friend does that? What kind of friend does that? Like pours out somebody else's drink, like I think Hagrid's a great teacher. He's doing what every great teacher does and drinking, getting wasted basically, and Hermione's stopping him from getting wasted. So
Hey, that's precisely my point, son. Had Hermione poured out the last of our beer, we would never forgive her. And that's low-key true.
That's blasphemy, dog.
Because sometimes, like, when we wake up in the morning, we'll wake up and, like, maybe we left a beer open or something, but that's our early refreshment the next day.
You need
like,
that.
We wake up and we're like, oh. Chug the rest of that.
That's one word that I feel like I never knew. I mean, it makes sense, but tankard, what they're calling the.
Oh yeah, the cups.
That's just probably just a huge ass vessel or whatever, like a bucket, pretty much.
That sounds like a growler to me.
I was assuming it's even bigger though, right? Because Hagrid's hands are like as big as a.
Yeah.
This guy's chugging out a 5-gallon bucket. Like,
what's your guys' next one? Mine's 136.
Mine's 138.
I said I just ran it up to.
Okay.
I didn't take notes.
All right. So 136. This is when they're dealing with the Bogart.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously we know the Bogart is supposed to shapeshift into whatever you fear most. And so I was gonna ask you guys the question: what scares you the most?
Oh, I had a feeling someone was gonna ask.
And for mine, mine's a snake, but a venomous snake, and a fast one at that. So like a black mamba.
Just joking.
Like black mambas, rattlesnakes, anything that strikes fast, like vipers, like those.
I mean,
gopher snakes, rat snakes.
I think we talked about this last time when Ron in the book
the
when
spiders.
Ron, when they were following the spiders and he was so scared of the spiders, and there was a giant spider at the end of the trail of small spiders, and I think Megaho said the same thing, snakes.
I said rats for that. Like I wouldn't want to.
And then I think I
that's
said,
your biggest one.
Well, one of them, but I like if you guys are talking like scary movies, something like The Exorcist girl would probably be my worst fear to see.
Oh no, I could see the devil and be like, "Oh, what up, dog?"
But no one knows what that looks like. Like specifically, I feel like.
Yeah.
you know, like I think I said something like a giant cockroach maybe would scare me
Oh
in
yeah,
the last one. But I think like if it becomes something like something that you fear, I think it would be something like from like a scary movie, like something that's like not real, but if it becomes real, then it actually does become scary, you know.
exactly. All right, let's not do scary movies and let's do actual like real things that are probably just going to become giant. So Megaho said snake. I think I would go rat too.
Then I'll
I
probably
would
just
go
go.
with the basilisk.
I'll probably
Oh,
just
yeah,
go like
venomous too.
a spider or something, because like unlike snakes, like you could like some snakes are camouflage, but like spiders are so small, and if they're poisonous, like if they just sneak up on you and you just feel like a little like bite or something, like
What
how
is
would
it?
you know if it's poisonous or not? Like I don't know. I just feel like a tiny spider is way scarier than like a snake, a big snake, basically.
Yeah. No. I feel it.
Yeah, but my next note is also on the Bogart. It's on page 138.
Swag.
That's your airport. Show Lex your shit, dog.
Swag. This is this New York aesthetic.
Go do a spin.
She's gonna fall and get
You see the
dizzy.
shoes?
The modeling over here.
Uggs, yeah.
This video is brought to you by. Yeah, right.
Uggs, yeah. Y'all can't afford Uggs.
We
Do
can't.
you know how much I spent on these?
$48.
No, $200. 2 years ago. Yeah.
I didn't say it last you that long though.
No, I haven't worn them because they're that expensive. I'm scared of myself. I have a pair of fucked up ones though. That side gave me.
Yeah, don't wear those.
Anyways, my next note was also on the Bogart. It was basically the Bogart turns into a severed hand, and I was just like, who the fuck is scared of a severed hand? Like,
Have you ever seen the movie Idle Hands?
No.
like I was like, what the fuck is this? The Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Because like,
Have you, no, bro, you guys haven't seen that movie?
the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the guy, the character of the book, watches a horror movie, but it was a terrible horror movie where it's like the muddy hand, and the muddy hand would basically just kind of crawl slowly until it comes to somebody and strangles them. So I was just like, why
That's
the fuck
literally
is
like
this?
Idle Hands.
Huh?
The devil possessed this guy's hand.
I haven't seen that movie.
Idle hands are the devil's work. You guys heard that saying? Oh my god! Never mind.
I mean, I think I've heard of that movie, but I haven't seen it. But
No, but have you heard that saying?
But regardless, I'm like, who the hell is scared of a severed hand? And
There's some people that
like
are scared.
what? Like, are they scared that the hand is gonna like pleasure them or something? Like, you know?
Like, my piece isn't big enough for those hands.
Hey, that's a big hand. Get that shit away from me. Hey, clean that shit off.
Like, it's
before
getting
you
close
got
to my dick.
Hey, before we leave the topic of the Bogart, were you gonna say something?
Oh yeah. So I had a secondary question. So obviously it was what scares you most, and mine was the snake. Now make it comical, and I said for mine it would be give it an orbit smile. So you know,
We had
like
like perfectly square teeth.
Yeah, like where the snake's just like.
Ding. That's what I was gonna ask you guys. How would you guys make your fear comical?
Like chew it down with orbit. Dirty mouth, clean it up with orbit. And the snake's just like,
shut the front door. I think if mine was a rat, I would probably make it like a Tom and Jerry thing. And just like make it a cartoon version and like a cat come hit it or something.
with a hammer.
Yeah. Ding. You get the big knot on the head.
What about you, son?
Comical.
Remember,
Honky.
that's how you beat your the Boggart.
The Bogart.
Comical.
Like, how do you make it? Yeah.
Lex is gonna say like, put cum on it.
Wait, what did he pick again? What did he pick? A spider?
Yeah, a little venomous spider.
So it's gonna be small still too.
Comical. I don't know. Make it a body pillow or something. You know, like something just not threatening. You
He's
know,
like, make it a sex doll.
Make it, put it
make
in
it something fucking anybody can use. You know, like make it everybody not afraid.
Everyone take a turn. I'm gonna make a sex doll.
Like everybody eating, but we're fucking this sex doll.
It's got 8 legs with holes in it for us.
What's that fucking shit called? The shit that you fuck.
Fleshlight?
Yeah. He's like, give it a fleshlight.
Each leg becomes a fleshlight. I beat you, Boggart.
All right, and that's the end of my notes till 173. So
My next one's on 154.
all right, go ahead, sir.
So my next note is basically about how Lupin, like, you know, Harry is not allowed into Hogsmeade, and he's kind of disappointed because his friends go over to Hogsmeade and you know have a good time, but Harry's not allowed to go, and so he's basically just walking around, kind of depressed and whatnot. And Lupin, I don't know, he just comes out of his like classroom, and so he just kind of invites Harry into his classroom, and I was just like, this kind of gives me pedo vibes, like the way Lupin invited Harry into his classroom. It's kind of like you know, it would give me like warning signs, basically.
Okay, but let's put you in Harry's shoes. You're one of the few students left at Hogwarts, and this professor that you actually like, because Harry does say that they put Lupin as the best Defense of the Dark Arts teacher so far. If he invites you into his classroom, you'd be like, oh.
Instead of being bored and alone.
Yeah, you know, I like, you know, Lupin seems like a cool teacher, especially compared to the other ones. Like, you know, Hagrid kind of becomes a wuss after his first lesson goes wrong, and it seems like Lupin's a cool teacher. But like, you know, in some cases, you know, in like pedo cases, it's like the least suspecting person, the most friendliest person, the most attractive, like friendliest person, but not the best looking, is a pedo. And you know, just his invitation gave me pedo vibes. And then I even have
homeless at the beginning, huh? That's why you're saying.
And then I even have here that because later on, like when Harry comes in, then Snape comes in and walks in, and then
so you think Snape prevented some sexual act?
No, I'm just adding a comment that Lupin said. So,
Harry's
like
enjoying a nice cup of tea.
Don't worry about it.
Look, Snape knocks on the door, and Lupin's like, "Come in," and then Lupin says,
Wait. Did he say come as in C-U-M or C-O-M-E?
Come on in.
So Lupin basically says, "Oh, like, you know, I was just showing Harry my Grindylow," and I was like,
"Look at here, suckers."
So that was just my comment, you know. Like, I'm sure, like, you know, Lupin was probably ready, but he was like, "Oh no, I'm not doing anything with Harry." You know, I was just showing him my Grindylow. See, he's back there.
Hell yeah.
Hard dick out and everything.
Lex lucky hating on Lupin, dog.
Hey. Like I said, I suspect that he'll turn bad later on.
What about Lockhart in the last book? Didn't he have to be in his office alone for hella hours too?
Who?
And you didn't get pedo vibes from that.
Lupin. Or
The
not Lupin,
Gilderoy
Lockhart.
Lockhart in the last book.
That
Harry
fucking
was in his
asshole.
office.
Who cares about him?
But he was in his office for hours alone.
Yeah, but that guy, he was nobody liked that guy. He was full of himself. So he doesn't give
He
me
doesn't want no
nobody.
little kids. He's like, I got
He'll
enough to do.
probably fuck himself before he fucks a student.
He's like, hey Harry, watch this. He's like, what does this look like to you? Take notes.
Take a look at my cock. Isn't it the biggest one you've seen on a book?
He's like, in my book, what's their best sellers list called again? Fuck. He's like, Gilderoy Lockhart's member. It's part of the Wizardly. Oh, I forgot their best seller.
My next note isn't until 169.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna use the facilities real quick.
Go ahead, sir.
My next note was basically about how they stopped the how they stopped the Quidditch match for Malfoy because he hurt his arm for
in Hagrid's class.
Yeah, during Hagrid's class. Mm-hmm. And he was basically just being a little bitch and just complaining about it the whole time. And so instead of playing Slytherin in the first game, which they were supposed to do, they play against Hufflepuff. Mm-hmm. And that was just like, because in the first book, Harry gets injured, right? Is it the first book where he
No, I think it's the second one because Harry in the first book, he goes and he joins the team, but I think what happens is that he catches the snitch in his mouth for the first game. Mm-hmm. And in the second one is when he breaks his arm, when that shit goes all wobbly. And that's when he's like talking about Madame Pomfrey fixing all the bones in his arm.
That was the second book because I remember Lockhart tried to use a spell to fix his arm, but then they got rid of the bones. So what happened in the first book then? Because they said one season they weren't able to win it because of injuries, and then the other one the season got canceled.
Yeah, so in the second season, when Harry gets injured, so I don't think they clarify what happens the first season when Harry's there.
I think they lost, right? They lost.
No, they had to have lost because they don't win the Quidditch Cup.
Yeah, because Wood says that this is.
But they also say that Harry's never lost a match in this book. He's never lost.
He's never lost a match until they play the Hufflepuff. Mm-hmm. I think in the first book, I think he gets injured. I forgot how, but he wasn't able to play for like the last game, I think, and they lost.
Maybe from the Basilisk thing?
No, because the Basilisk is the second book still.
Oh, yeah. The first book. All right, son, now that you're back. So we're discussing the Quidditch match, right?
Yeah.
So this one, they mentioned that there hasn't been the tournament the year before because it got canceled. So we're in year 3. But year 2 is also the match that Harry breaks his arm.
Yes, I believe so.
And Matt, in the first year, why don't they win the World Cup? Or why don't they win the Quidditch Cup?
The Quidditch.
Because that's the one where Harry catches the snitch in his mouth, but I don't think they go into detail why into Quidditch after that.
They don't mention it at the end of it?
I don't think so.
Are you sure they don't win it?
Yeah, because in this one, not Percy, Oliver Wood. Yeah, Oliver Wood speaks about how it's his final year and they haven't won it. And he's like, I want to win it in my final year at least. Like, I want to at least hoist the trophy one time.
Does Harry get really hurt after when he catches it in his mouth too?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Maybe they just didn't.
Because they say
Maybe-
the year before the Quidditch Cup got canceled, so the tournament doesn't happen. But the year before that is Harry's first year. But
And they never
Harry's-
mentioned why
yeah,
why they didn't win.
yeah. But Harry also never loses a match till this year. Because this is like when he gets out of the hospital, he says he's like, this is the first match I've ever lost. So
But
maybe off
maybe
the
they
point
just
system.
failed to mention
Well,
in the
because
first one, but maybe they did. They just didn't win, or they didn't.
yeah,
They
because
probably just didn't make it important to point out again, I guess.
Because in
You
this
think
one
they
they start talking about how the point system works a little bit.
I don't know. I forgot, but I'm pretty sure Harry injures himself in the first book. I forgot how, but I think he wasn't able to play the last game, which they lost against Slytherin, I think.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's a reason he wasn't able to play.
Maybe
Yeah, I forgot.
the burns with Voldemort
After
at the end of the
Voldemort,
book.
maybe he missed the game, right?
Yeah, maybe for
When he's
that.
in the hospital wing and shit.
We should research that one.
Hey, did you guys see that video I sent you guys?
No.
I thought I sent it to the group chat.
No.
I'm gonna send it to you guys. It's cool.
Is
but...
it of you masturbating?
Yeah.
How'd you
know?
didn't watch it?
Oh shit! like speak for yourself.
He's like, I saved that shit.
I think you guys are past the point to where I read the.
No,
Yeah.
we just finished up. But we're just speculating at this point.
Yeah, I still have some comments. I mean,
I have some too, but we're gonna save that one for the next episode. So from this point on, from 170 to the rest of the book, another
435 is the end.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do the math of that, but just finish it. Yeah, whatever the rest is.
So we'll aim to have it done by.
What's the date today?
Today's the 9th, so
2 weeks
let's
from
say
today.
the 23rd.
Yeah.
Have the reading done by then, or the video out by then?
The 23rd is the 2 weeks from now,
Yeah.
Wednesday. So we'll have the reading done at least by then.
All right.
And we'll try to read on the Tuesday or that Wednesday. Or try to record that Tuesday or that Wednesday.
I mean, are we doing what up until 75?
We're gonna finish the book.
But go ahead and say your
No,
last
I'm
name.
just saying, like, where are we cutting off for this one?
70.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't finish so. But
Alright.
if you have notes, go ahead. I'm gonna finish it anyway. So
I mean, I only have like 3 more notes, really, but they're after 174, so.
we
We-
have
we
like
could
8 minutes. I'm trying to make it an even 90 minutes.
I mean, I don't know. If you want to cover them, we can try.
Yeah. Or pick out the one that you like the most.
To what page you go to?
I mean, I could really cover 2 of these at the same time, and then.
My nearest one is 184. So
So I basically talk about the first Quidditch game of this book, where they were, like I said, they were supposed to play Slytherin, but then instead they play Hufflepuff. And then I talk. Oh, before that, there was also a comment. Like, I don't know how it is in your book, but
We have the same book.
yeah, I think so.
yeah, but there could be like different translations or something. But like here,
Are you reading it in Hebrew?
but here, I think Ron was arguing with Snape because he was like substitute teacher for the defense against the dark arts, and Snape was being a total bitch. Basically, he was just like, "You guys haven't covered werewolves. You guys are like so far behind, and
Your teacher sucks.
and your current teacher sucks. He's fucking garbage." And then like asking like, do you guys know the difference between a werewolf compared to like a silver wolf or something?
A regular wolf, I think he said.
Yeah, and then like Hermione has her like hand up because she's such a know-it-all. But even then, Snape doesn't pick her, and she says like, "What? Nobody knows like the difference. Like you guys are like so far behind and whatnot." And then Ron basically just gets mad, and
Yeah,
and
he
he's
stands up for Hermione when he's like
He's hella not acknowledging her.
Yeah, like you know, students right here with the answer, and yet you choose to not acknowledge her.
yeah,
when you're the one asking the question.
I mean, throughout this book, Ron and Hermione have been like fighting the whole time. Like, I mean, just get a room. But
it's like every book so far. They're always beefing. Though.
But you know, this like Ron, you know, is so mad at Snape in this moment that he's defending Hermione about in this moment, like, hey, like, why didn't you like pick her? Like, she's raising her hand. You're over here saying like nobody knows his answer, um, but
you obviously have someone that knows what they're talking about,
and yet you didn't
ignore them.
Yeah, and then Ron ends up getting detention, but I think he ends up leaving like a little bit after the rest of the class because like Snape had to talk about his detention, and then in my book they said Ron came out of there and he called Snape. They didn't exactly say what the heck. They didn't say exactly what the heck he called him. They just said they called him something pretty offensive.
Yeah, because Hermione's like Ron, like why would you say that?
Yeah, so my comment is basically like he probably said something.
Oh fuck!
What happened to what?
He probably was about to say the N word and string was
Hey, but look, I said on 173, that's where it's at. So what do you think Ron called Snape? And
what? Oh, cunt or twat?
Yeah.
Probably.
Because those are like the two English, like the UK.
That's
like,
some offensive shit over there, yeah.
So
and throughout the book, they've been kind of beefing how Lupin and Snape, like,
yeah,
when he walks in or when he's being announced as a new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
Yeah, they say
Harry's
Snape's like staring at
him. He has that face that he only gives Harry, like, of loathing and shit. And then when they do the Bogart or whatever,
oh yeah, Snape's mad that
Snape's in there and he just ends up leaving.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lex, go ahead and say the word you were gonna say.
That's my bad. My laptop ended up running out of battery. But I was gonna say that Snape probably called him that son of a bitch. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys had
Mego had a good one.
All right, so exactly to your point, like I had the same one, and it's on page 173. And I put that. I put my note was, what do you think Ron called Snape? And my assumption was a cunt or a twat.
I mean, they are British, so that would make sense.
Yeah, that seems pretty accurate. One of the two.
Hey, should we leave it here? I mean, we're pretty even. We'll leave it here. Let's call it 175.
I mean, I still have one more note on the next page that we could probably finish it on.
All right, you got 1 minute. Go.
All right. Quick. So, I mean, it was basically just another note about how they're about to play their next Quidditch game, and they explain that the other guy on the other team, the Seeker, is like bigger than Harry, and that in the weather that they're playing in, that he has an advantage compared to Harry because most Seekers are small and skinny, and they're usually fast, but
Cedric's more like a sturdy build.
Yeah, he's like bigger than most Seekers, and like
Harry actually gets blown around and shit.
And since it's like windy and raining and stuff, and I just said how weather affects playing Quidditch, like flying. Like I don't know. I didn't really think in that moment that something like weather could affect it. So that was my note.
Oh yeah.
That's a good point, though. Because you think they're just magical, they don't have nothing to worry about. But
Yeah.
it's like any other sport.
All right, gentlemen. Well, that's gonna wrap up the IUI. Thank you for joining us, Lex, and we hope to see you for the second part.
2 weeks, brothers. We're going to finish this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
And then on to number 4 after that. But we'll talk more about that later.
All right. Well, we're gonna end it here. So thank you guys very much. As far as brews, yeah, we've had quite a few drinks. I mean,
I had 4,
this is my fourth one. I'm about to finish
16
it.
ounces. Lex, real quick before the minute's over, what do you think of those beers?
They're good. They're really easy to drink. I mean, I feel like I don't really feel anything right now. I finished one,
He's a professional, dog.
That's a
and I'm like
chugger right
halfway
there.
through this one. So
1 out of 10. Hurry up. We got 4 seconds.
1 out of 10, solid 9.
Nice. IUI.